Hey, welcome back to my journey through One Piece. We have just finished the Water 7 arc. That was a long video. I appreciate if you watched all those videos. I think it was like 3 parts. Boy, did we go through an emotional roller coaster. Like, I was almost brought to tears 2 times in that arc. So, needless to say, I'm really looking forward to Thriller Bark. It has a lot to live up to if it's going to follow that. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. I think we are on volume 46. So, again, thank you for watching these videos, and let's get to it. Okay, listen, I have a lot of conflicting emotions about this volume. Where to start? So, we start off with the battle between Ace and Teach. It's a great battle. Like, Ace, again, I want to know more about him. He's so cool, man. It's just one chapter, and it kind of leaves off on a weird cliffhanger. And it's Ace's hat, and it's basically like has a little blurb that says the battle that was happening there will affect what is to come. And then it cuts to Luffy and the crew on the Thousand Sunny. It's already weird for me to not say Luffy and the crew and the merry-go. I'm still needing time to process it. It's still weird, but Thousand Sunny. All right, here we go. New chapter. Let's do this. So they are on the Thousand Sunny, and they are cruising along, and they run into Brook on a ghost ship who's skeleton and bones. And Luffy's just like, "You want to join my crew?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." That's it. Just real quick, hey, you in? He's like, "Yeah." Luffy's just handing out passes to join his crew to anybody. Hey man, you crew, you in? You in? Uh, it was odd for me because usually the crew members they kind of do something and then they join. He wants him to join his crew. He's just like, "You want to join?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm in." Strange. It was strange. So Brooke tells him about Thriller Bark, and they go on a mission to find it. And the crew is split up. Brooke just kind of takes off on his own, like Mary Poppins, just floating. He runs on water, and then he floats a lot. He's a skeleton. That dude is strange. But the crew is split up into Nami, Usopp, Chopper, and then Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and Robin. So that it's Luffy's team and Usopp's team, and Usopp and his team go on the mini Mary. Oda, the wound is still fresh, but I'm happy for it. Yeah, hey, listen, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. So Usopp's crew's on the mini Mary, and they crash onto an island, which ends up being Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark already seems like a weird place because they meet like weird creatures, and they take him to meet Dr. Hogback, who Chopper is very excited to meet because he's this world famous doctor that saved several thousands of lives. I will say this, which actually it does way later on in the volume. The art style changes. Not drastically, but there's a lot more black and darkness. It's almost kind of horror like, which the deeper I got into this volume, I realized it was probably a conscious choice by Oda to do a horror like vibe. I actually have a weird theory. I'll tell you this. I could be completely off. It's weird because I'm jumping ahead and I don't do this. I usually go chapter by chapter, but here's my theory real quick, and let's see what you think about it. Usopp's crew is the weakest that we've seen so far. You know, they might have some hidden stuff, but right now you would consider those three probably the weakest on the ship. Their part, because this volume is very much split up with Luffy's team and Usopp's team, their part is dark and horror, and even the drawing style gives off that dark, ghost, haunted horror look. But even when Luffy and them get to this island, it's not as dark because Luffy and the people that he's with kind of treat it as almost like, oh, it's exciting, like they're not scared. And you can tell that Chopper, Usopp, and Nami are scared, so I wonder if he consciously made that decision to draw in super dark shades with them because they're more fearful than Luffy and the crew that he has. Just a theory I thought I would throw out there. So after being chased by zombies, because apparently we have zombies now, They get to Dr. Hogback's mansion, castle, what have you, and they meet him well after Usopp gets hit in the face by about 10 plates. It was pretty funny. So, it was alright. And Nami is still kind of on edge, but Usopp and Chopper just met a hero of his, so his guard's kind of down, and Usopp is kind of like, well, hey, it's real bad out there. Zombies just happened. I don't know if you remember. I'm staying, but Nami's still skeptical, and she gets even more skeptical when she's taking a shower, guarded by Chopper and Usopp, and gets attacked by an invisible man. To be honest with you, I'm getting a real Universal Horror Monsters vibe. I would not be surprised if we run into a werewolf style and a mummy, because we have invisible men. Dr. Hogback's like kind of a vampire looking person. If I would have read this in October, I feel like this would have been a good October read, because there's a lot of horror monstery elements in this story so far. I'm wondering if it changes or if this is just kind of Oda's like kind of one-off. I don't know. Like I said, I have a lot of thoughts about this one. To me, it was kind of shocking how different this was than Water 7, because up until this point, it's all been pretty consistent, but I've noticed a sharp and sudden change in the story that's being told here. It's more fantastical, which is weird to say when there's like devil fruits and man made of rubber, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. We'll see. We'll see how this arc goes. So Nami gets attacked by an invisible person in the shower, and then that's when they know, hey, something is shifty. So they go and take a look throughout Dr. Hogback's castle, and they run into a room with a giant picture, and she's an actress that died in a car accident, who is the servant that threw the plates at Usopp. And they kind of sneak down, and they see that Dr. Hogback is bringing people back from the dead. He's basically creating the zombies that they have. Then it cuts to Luffy's crew, and they make it onto Thriller Bark, which they thought was an island. Actually a giant ship, captained by Morio Greco, who we find out is one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Again, with the 7 warlords of the sea, they've mentioned them a handful of times. I think we've definitely seen a few of them. Something's gonna happen with them. Like, they're building them up. I know One Piece is still ongoing, but they're kind of building them up like they're the final boss of this whole series, which is weird. But in this volume, you really don't get to see Moria. He's just a very large individual, but he's kind of casted in shadows. Like I said, Oda is really playing with the darks and the blacks of the art style that he's doing for this arc, which I think it's actually pretty cool to, not a lot, but sudden changes of the art style that fits the arc that he's telling, or the story that he's trying to tell. I really do appreciate that, and I think it is really neat. Even though I think that this arc is off to a strange start, to say the least. Not that I didn't like it, it's just, I don't know why I think this is so different, but I really do think this is really different. It kind of seems like a filler episode of a TV show, if that makes sense. So Luffy and his crew is on Thriller Bark, and Luffy is so good. Like, one of my favorite moments of this entire volume, they're in the cemetery where Usopp's crew was terrified of these zombies, and Luffy's standing there, and a zombie, like, pops up, and Luffy's like, go back down. No. Like, so funny. And then he pops back up and is like, I'm a zombie. Yeah, don't push me back in the ground. And, they did one of the coolest attacks, the 600 million berry attack, where they all fight and they just wreck these zombies and push them back in the ground. Awesome. So good. For as strange as this volume was, the $600 million berry attack, so good. And they do kind of poke fun at Luffy just asking people to join his crew, because he, like, sees, like, a tree man or something on this island. He's like, join my crew. So they actually do poke fun at the weird way that Brook was introduced into the crew. So I did enjoy that they actually poked fun at it. And Zoro and Sanji are like, hey, man, stop. You can't just let anybody in here. That's crazy. So at least they can poke fun at themselves. This is very funny. And that's one of the things in this arc, which is good for, and it could change. I'm only on the first volume. It could change, but for what seems like kind of like a fun arc, and kind of maybe not tied into the journey to the grand line. The humor in this is excellent. It's one of the funniest volumes that I've read so far, for sure. We leave off in this volume with Nami, Usopp, and Chopper still in Dr. Hogback's castle, and Luffy and the rest of the crew going in, kicking in the door, and taking down anybody that gets in their way. They're about to enter the ghost house. Overall, I started out this volume thinking, oh man, think what happened, and it happens in a lot of animes, mangas, and entertainment. When something has such a strong season or a strong arc as, in my opinion, Water 7, the arc that follows is so tough to start. And it might get really good later on, but just as the starting volume of this new arc, when you're following something as strong as Water 7, it is tough. So that's why I kind of give it a pass. And it did start off strong with Ace and his fight, but it kind of got, for me, a little like, this is the easiest way I can put it, is usually when I pick up a volume of One Piece, I read it in one sitting. That's usually how it happens. I put down this volume 3 times. I read like a chapter, maybe 2 chapters, and I could put it down. Not in a bad way, but I could put it down and come back. It's not like I put it down like, ugh, trash. I put it down just because I could, like I was able to. And that hasn't happened yet for me when I was reading One Piece. But I will say, I did read the last 4 chapters all the way through, and it really has picked up. I do think that they have the ability with this arc to bring me back. But I mean, Marigo, Water 7 was so good. So with that, I'm still, it's One Piece, people. If you don't know, I'm pot committed to One Piece. Luffy and the crew, I'm here. I'm part of the crew. Strap in. And I'm ready to read volume 47 because, like I said, the back half of 46 really did pick up. And I do think that we're on a roll to at least have some good fights and some super funny moments. And honestly, let's just spend some time with the crew on a crazy adventure. I'm in for that too. So, this is the first volume. I believe Thriller Bark is 4 volumes. So yeah, that was volume 46. Let's get to volume 47. Alright, volume 47 might have just changed my mind on this entire arc. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's probably why it's taken so long for this video to come out. I was kind of struggling with the first volume and a half of this arc. But Oda might have just changed my mind. So volume 47 starts exactly where volume 46 left off. Nami, Chopper, Usopp are being chased by this swordsman zombie guy, and Luffy and his crew are going in there and saving them. And after I got done with this volume, I really thought about this part of the video. Because I usually go kind of chapter by chapter and talk about kind of my thoughts on it as it goes. But, I mean, yeah, there was some good bits. Like, it was kind of funny that Nami was getting chased by Absol and wanting to get married, then getting chased by the pig monster thing that wanted to marry him, and she saying she was a man. Like, the comedy was okay, but something more important to me happened in this volume. It was a volume of answers, because like I said in my last part for volume 46 in this video, it kind of came off as like Oda wanted to do cool design monster Halloween special of One Piece. And that was fine. No, I was wrong. That's right, I'm tough enough to admit it. I was wrong. I should have trusted Oda. That dude always has a plan. You think he might not, but he wraps it back around. I was so impressed. So where to start? Okay, let's start with Brook. I know I kind of made fun of like a skeleton afro zombie thing. Weird. He gave a backstory for the afro. He's made me care about a ship, about some animals, now about a skeleton with an afro. Dude's a genius. What? Do you remember the whale? Like volumes and volumes ago that was headbutting his head on the main line that Luffy kind of stopped and made friends with? Brook was friends with him. And his crew was like, we can't take you right now because he was a baby. It was a dangerous journey. They were gonna come back for him. That's why he's waiting at the Grand Line. Are you kidding me? Man. Oh! It. Well done. Round of applause, Oda. Well done, sir. Well done. And the reason that he cares about his afro so much is because it's the only part of him that reconnects him to his humanity. Because now that he's a skeleton, and that's why he keeps it. And that's. I was just blown away that he could wrap it back around to a character development moment. And so Brook battles his shadow self because we do find out kind of how all this is going on. Greco Moria has the shadow fruit, and he has the ability to capture people's shadows, basically their souls, and put them into other beings. And that's how the zombies are created. So it's not some undead Halloween thing. They make a world reasoning for it to actually happen. And so Brook is fighting himself, basically. And they battled when he escaped the island, and now he's come back. And when Luffy finds out about this, he says, oh no, I already made him join the crew. If not, I'm definitely making him now. And Frankie, everyone starts caring for him. And that's kind of the cool part of this volume. And it kind of made me think about other volumes that we have read so far. You kind of start caring for the characters as the characters start caring for the characters in the story. And that's what I think Oda does so well that I've noticed. And this kind of reiterated that fact for me. Yes, we come to One Piece for Luffy and the crew and their grand adventure. But this might have some of the best character development in any manga that I've read. And if you have not watched my manga collection video, I counted, I have over 500 volumes. So I've read a lot of manga. And this still has some of the best character development that I've read. Which is nuts to say for what people write off, essentially, as like a action-y, stretchy man, punch people manga. It's actually relatively deep. And to have that epiphany in an arc that I had already written off as a one-off arc was kind of nuts. And the other big character development moment was Luffy gets captured and his shadow gets thrown into Oars, this giant monster that's all chained up. And Greco thinks he's going to have control over him. Not the case. Because Luffy, he even says, hey, make sure it has no memories, nothing. But it's not his memories, it's his spirit that has gotten in there. And he still loves meat. And he's going to be the king of the pirates. And there's actually a really funny moment where he goes, Gum Gum Pistol or Gum Gum Bazooka, I'm not sure which. And he goes, oh, he breaks through. Thought my arm would stretch. And that's the thing. It's not his memory, it's his spirit that's inside of him. And it proves to you that Luffy's stubborn. Luffy's dream is Luffy's dream. He will achieve it at all costs. You can put him in any body, anything, he will make it happen. And then Frankie, Nico, Usopp, Chopper, they basically go to the Thousand Sunny where the bodies of Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro are at and save them and wake them up by enticing them with food and beautiful women, And, food, beautiful women, swordsmen. Hey, if they're not consistent, those guys know what they like. And they find out that Nami has been captured and is going to get married to Absol, which Sanji is not happy about. He is hot. He does flames, hot. I'm trying to get better at the wordplay. Or worse, I don't know. But that's kind of where we leave off in Volume 47. The crew is going back in to Thriller Bark, and they even say if we're blowing it to bits, because they're going to get Nami and they're going to get their shadows back. And they're going to stop Greco Moria. Like I said, to be completely honest with you, I really struggled to get through the first volume and a half of this arc. And I thought, I know I want to continue because all you guys are saying it's going to be so good. And I'll admit it, I was wrong. It took a little bit. But I'm so happy that I pushed through. Because, as always, Oda and the world of One Piece, I'm back in. I'm back on the ship. I had a moment of lapse, but I'm back. And I cannot wait for Volume 48. So let's get to it.